Hey everyone, welcome. It's Ryan B. The date is December 15th, 2019. We're doing weekly analysis of the Euro Yen. So we're looking at daily charts to start. And what I've got here in place, my chart is pretty straightforward and simple. And what I'm doing is I'm using moving averages. Using a 20, that's my blue, it's my fast. The 50 is my medium. The moving average, then I have a 200 as my slow. And I'm going to identify weekly support and resistance lines, pivot points, using Forex.com pivot point tool. So let's go ahead and start marking up our chart. So weekly pivot point this week is going to be 121.88. So I'm going to go ahead and place a horizontal trend line. 21.88. Right? 121.88. Oh, that's the daily. Hold on. There we go. 121.41. The daily is important too, but the weekly is what we want to go at. So we see price is kind of sitting above the pivot point after last week's big bull run with all the currencies. Saw some volatility pretty steep there at the end with Brexit vote, or I should say the UK election vote. Okay, so weekly R1 122.83. So let's go ahead and make another horizontal 122.83. Right in there. And let's go ahead and label that. Weekly Okay. So then our weekly support one is 120.18. So let's find that. 120.18, right about there. So there we go. We see some equidistant support and resistance areas kind of mapping out. Now, if we look at the short-term trend, really we've got this pretty fierce price action that's been moving up since September, forming this kind of big sloping uptrend. However, what we have is this giant downtrend since January of 2018. So we always have to consider that the larger trend will always crush the shorter trend at some point. So trend lines are subjective, but I'm seeing some extreme tops here, most recently with Friday's action. And it kind of feels like it's going along this line. As we see the 200-day moving average, price shot above it, made a pretty big dramatic spike, and then came rocking back down. Similar to action we see back here. So, but because it finished above this, weekly pivot, we could see another continuation, another push towards 122. However, let's go ahead and look at the smaller picture to see what's going on. So I want to use my 4 hour. I really want to stick to my 1 hour, 4 hour daily and weekly charts. I don't like to get too into the minute charts. Just tiny little candles can cause you a lot of anxiety, and the price movement isn't that big, but because the chart you're watching, it's very dramatic. It's great to use them for practice. I like using minute charts to practice my candle recognition, right? See those patterns. So here's kind of a trend channel it's been forming, and Euro Yen and Pound Yen are both kind of, you see a lot of up and down action. It's kind kind of like scribbling. But this is the 4 hour. So just this chart alone, this is a trend channel since September. We see recently that price kind of shot above here and is now resting on top of this channel. If we go ahead and make another one, we can also kind of pull a middle into this, right? So you see how that lines up nicely. So price basically was moving sideways since mid-November, and that recent price action really shot it out. So what we could see is here is price is sitting on top of the fast-moving average. We could see another push this week up for the euro over the yen, really gaining a lot of power. We see similar action with the euro USD. So we could also see price kind of dip back down into this 120 area and pull back towards the 50 or 200 moving average. But if it did, I think we'd see some quick buying to prop that price back up, because this trend's doing pretty good. Because even though in the long downtrend, right, like there's still a good chance that this downtrend is going to, eventually it'll fall back off. But we could see price, take another couple stabs at this weekly this resistance line at 122.83, because now it's moving above the 200-day moving average. See how it just kind of peaked above and came back down and rested on top. That means we could see more movement upwards. So we will see this week what happens with euro yen. Let's go ahead and we'll take one more closer look before we look at some other currencies, and make sure you check out the other videos. I'm going to try to do all the majors every week. So whatever coins you're trading, if you've got comments and you are a trader, want to talk about it, cool. Please leave comments. Don't be a dick if you have a different opinion. Everyone has their own opinions about charts. I'd love to hear yours. I just, I'm a Forex trader, so I like connecting with other traders as well. Okay. So, trend lines are pretty subjective. You could kind of say, oh, it's here, oh, it's up here. But what we see is, price is kind of seeing this nice little pocket. It's now sitting on top of this 50. See how price moved back in between the bands. This is sometimes can be a good selling signal. I really want to see my fast on top of my medium, top of my slow. And when price pulls back to this pocket here, sometimes it makes a really nice buy. So the market should be open later this evening, and we'll see what happens with euro yen. Make sure you check our website out, practicalfxtrading.com, and we'll talk to you later.